Okay, welcome back to what I think will be the last video on edge-to-edge designs and nesting with 4D and 5D Quilt Design Creator. We've gone through some basic designs on how to choose ones that you don't require nesting and how to do some edge-to-edge designs that require nesting top to bottom, and how to use the gap function with Encore. In this video, we're going to work with how to use the knife function with left to right or horizontal nesting. So I'm going to choose a design, and once again, I'm using a design from One Song Needle Arts. I have lots and lots of other designs, so that's not to say that these are the only ones that are available. There's a lot of designers that have some fabulous designs. I just happen to use these as an example, and I do use a lot of other designers as well. At any rate, I'm using this one, which if you look at it, you can see that the start and stop nodes are all on the same plane, and they're on the outsides of the design area, so we don't need to worry about using a gap with the Encore. You could probably do that with other designs, but for ease of instruction, I've just kind of chosen to use this one so we're not messing around with too many things at once. Okay, so I've made the design a little bit smaller. I'm using my Encore. I've got 7 repeats, and that's okay for now. We don't need to worry about too much adjustment. If you want to, we can bring it right to the edge. Now, bear in mind, if you have a mid-arm machine, you can only do max of 5 inches, and so this design is something that you could stitch out all at once. You squish it up a little bit. You're going to do your 5-inch pass to begin with, and when you do your next set of your next pass, it's going to be nested a fair bit. And if you want to find out how much you're going to be nesting, you can do a measurement tool and go from there. The nesting is roughly 2.5. You want to give yourself a little bit of room, so your nesting is probably going to be a 2-inch nest. So each repeat from this point on is going to require less room from your start point, if that makes any sense at all. Anyway, for us, we're going to keep that kind of aspect, the proportional spacing. And what I'm going to do is just choose one design, one repeat, and I'm going to put that into my clipboard just to make sure I've got that one handy, because we've done some different designs. Once we're sure that we're happy with that particular size, we want to save that into the clipboard so that we can actually repeat it later. Okay. So I have now my edge to edge. I could at this point make all of this one design by clicking on the nodes and making it one, but there's another option that you can use, and that is to group the whole thing. Go over here and group your design, and now 4D/5D is going to treat that as one design. So I can duplicate it, and I can bring it down, and I can do my nesting. And you're probably going to want to zoom in until you're happy with what's going on. You want to leave a little bit of room here, because when you go to stitch out your design, there's going to be a certain amount of draw in, and it's also not always completely accurate when you do your roll up. It could be a little bit out, and if you nest your design too closely, then you're going to find some problems with overlapping stitches. This is probably pretty good. I might even choose to bring it down a little bit more, and I'm pretty much happy with that. So now I'm going to take one design and I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to undo that because that's not what I wanted. I'm going to take one design, I'm going to copy it. I could paste it, I could duplicate it. Let's duplicate it. And I'm going to bring it over here and line it up. Okay. And if you use your control key as you're scrolling, that scrolls in and out of the design field, just for interest's sake. Okay, so now I've got this one design selected. I am going to use my knife function, and I'm going to cut right through it where I want it to cut. I'm going to try to be relatively accurate. When you're finished with the cut line, right click, and you can see here on the film strip that it's taken it into two pieces. I want to keep this part because I know that that part is actually attached to over here. I'm taking the left part and I'm going to delete that. Okay, not too bad. I'm going to now fine-tune that a little bit, bring it up here. If I wanted to, I can edit these nodes and delete a few of them so that we are right on the edge of the stitch out area. That's just fine-tuning. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, so if I zoom back out again, you can see that I now have my left-hand side nested, but I have an overlap on the right-hand side. We need to get rid of that as well. So what I'm going to do is choose the group and zoom in down here. Hopefully this will work because I've been having some issues with this. I'm going to use my knife and I'm going to go through and cut this again. Oh, it worked this time. Great. Okay, so we've got two designs. It's split them apart, and I'm going to get rid of this one, delete it. Apparently that wasn't the right thing to do. Let's undo. I'm going to get rid of this one. There we go. Now, fine-tuning that a little bit. I want to delete some of those extra nodes here. Okay. Those ones can go. All right. Now, there we go. Now we're nested left to right. We could, if we wanted to, nest top to bottom, although I think this design is probably pretty nice. I wouldn't worry about nesting that. So what we see here now is that we're starting at the left, going through to the right, and then what's going to happen is that we're going to start again at the left and work our way through. This is not what we want. We want to be able to start at the left, work to the right, and then carry on and go back this way. So what that does require is us to join all of our different elements, which we've done in the past. We're going to edit our nodes. This takes a little bit of playing. Once they're joined, sometimes there won't be any nodes highlighted, and sometimes all of them will be highlighted. Just double clicking on them will help ensure that you have them joined. There we go. See, that's what I mean. I know that they're joined, but that none of them are highlighted. So if I click on it again, then I can see that they're all joined. And just about there. I think that's our last one. That one's being a little bit persnickety. There we go. Zoom out again. Okay, that's one complete stitch out. So what you can see, once again, starting at the left, ending at the right. Now this is ending at the right and starting at the left. We want to take this complete stitch out, go to Object, and reverse the path. So there we go. Starting at the left, ending at the right, starting at the right, ending at the left. And what we can do from here, if you don't even want it to pause, you just want it to carry right on, you can add your line from here to here, right click, and now this now becomes one complete stitch out. It's not even going to stop here. It's going to carry right on. We can move our nodes a little bit so that that line kind of sticks out a little bit. And so now you can see what's going to happen is that this last stitch out on the top row has been treated as the first stitch out on the second row. You can now go back and join all of these nodes and make this one complete stitch out, although you don't have to. And so at this point, what I would do is now go ahead and adjust the entire dimensions of the quilt by saying that it is, I think it's about 40.125, and it looks like it's about 10 inches. Okay, it's a little bit bigger. Group the whole thing. Just do Control A, make it into a group, center the design, and fine tune that a little bit. 10 1/4, center it again. And you can go ahead and save it and take it to your Qbot and stitch it out, and it should be pretty much perfect. There are some other fine-tuning techniques when it comes to deciding how much you need to nest your second set of patterns. So therefore you've done the stitch out from here to here, and then what happens when you want to stitch out again? How do you determine how much to bring down your quilt so that it starts the next stitch out? That's just a case when I'm doing it, that's a case of measurement. I'm going to go from the end of one stitch out and measure up, and I'm going to go from the top and measure down and do my calculations there. But pretty much this measurement from here to here is going to be your nesting. There are some other people who do some pretty much fine-tuning with this. I would love to hear from other people what their plans are and how they figure this out. I just have been working through this, and with the new V3 with Qbot, it makes it tons simpler to do this kind of stitch out. So thanks for watching all of these videos. I hope you appreciate it. I hope you like it, and I would welcome some feedback. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.